guys, we are the Pageant Gurus. And well, this is a continuation from the last video, and Guru is going to tell you all about it. Over to you.
Yes. So last time we basically talked about our predictions, the top 16, bit about the Philippines, how happy we were that India made it, and the Ultukuya Award. Now it's all about swimsuits. So, Emma, any particular cape that you really liked? You know, the award of the best cape has gone to Vietnam. They've announced it on their Instagram handle. Uh, so Vietnam is the one. I think this one is her cape.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Yeah. Now I can see it. Okay. I would have liked India to win the Cape. Hers was the most beautiful, I think, in the amount of efforts that went into
Kelly was a bit
embellishing it.
busy.
It was busy, but
It was
I
too
think
busy.
maybe. But I think that's what
Imagine,
you want on the stage, right?
imagine if there was one delegate who had just brought in a cape just the way she got it.
Yeah.
That could have been such a statement. You know, completely, I did not put any effort in it. There's a completely renewable, no energy wasted on it, no paint used on it.
Yeah.
I want to make a statement that, less is more. Like many painters and many artists do, right? There's this huge white canvas and there's a small dot.
Minimalistic, yeah.
Minimalism. Maybe.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe it's too much of a gamble to take. But yeah, I think good thought in getting these new personalized capes. However, I do feel that this gives some countries undue advantage over others where you don't have a team behind them, or they are not as artistic as, for example, USA, who did everything, including dyeing her own and getting those wings of the phoenix made by her own plastic. It shows that you are innovative, but I think that's what the organization is looking for.
But she's a designer, so you have to expect that from her to dye it herself and do as much. In fact, it was a bit dull. It was not not now, then when or something, right? So it was honestly, for being a fashion designer, it was blah. Honestly, it wasn't that good.
I think kudos to the effort. I think effort is there, but in terms of execution, it was a bit. It was not inspiring enough.
No, the color was all wrong. It was brownish, orangish or something, I remember. And yeah.
It was like the phoenix. Imagine if it had the Catriona's lava gown, where you actually felt it was like burning in lava.
I know. I would have want some bling on it, at least, if she was a designer, because her gowns showed that, because she designed her gowns or whatever. It was all sparkly and fantastic. It was a little dull, and the fact that I did not know the girls actually did themselves, and I remember some of them just put handprints everywhere. That's it, and they were done.
That was Philippines. That was Philippines. I think that was. I expected so much more, though they had said that this is from the children of Philippines, but then you had so much of time, and more on that, on the episode where there's this whole backlash that the team did not support her enough. More on that later on.
Yes,
but I think, because of the stage, I didn't feel that it was grand enough. And the movements, when you're just showcasing, it was more of a show. It was more like a fashion show than talking about, health and a swimsuit competition. Half the time they were just showcasing their backs and these capes. Though the good part was the commentary done by Catriona and, Louis. Also, I'm forgetting her name, to give the meaning behind the cape. I think that was well researched.
Yeah.
I wish they would have used that in the preliminary competition.
Yes.
When Harnaz was just going all over the place.
Yeah.
So that could have added more meat into the whole script. I think the standouts for me was Puerto Rico.
In swimsuit?
And Portugal. These two,
Thank you.
actually, I like.
Thank you. Portugal was fantastic. Actually, she's a beautiful.
To be honest, even Australia. She had such a fit body.
Yes, I was just gonna say Australia. Yes, thank you. Australia, I don't know why it just skipped us. She's fantastic. I loved, okay, in terms of swimsuit and walking, and you talking about, the oomph factor of it. Australia, Portugal, definitely.
Dominican Republic as well.
Dominican,
She had
even,
that flair. She
yeah,
had
she
that
has that
Caribbean
thing.
Wawa boom.
And El Salvador, she did have, nobody noticed El Salvador, and I liked her in my swimsuit that she did the lovely with the ponytail. She had this turn, and oh my God,
But El
Bahrain
Salvador was
was.
not in the top 16.
She was not in the top 16, but in the preliminaries in the swimsuit thing, she was fantastic. And Bahrain was the only one who did the twirl thing beautifully with the cape. Hers was the best walk, and I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Even though she
so
was fully covered, you could see her curves, you could see her body, and it was amazing. So, like, yeah, I will be partial to her in a lot of things. So, yes, I think, well, I would have wanted to see more actually. I guess we were robbed with a lot of things of not seeing a lot of important contestants being showcased properly. Um, I do feel that
what
happened
about
a lot.
evening gowns?
Evening gowns in the final, I was disappointed with India, honestly. I mean, I think
It was
she
not
felt,
accentuating her curves. She was
the front
dragging it.
was fine, but I think the back cape thing,
Yeah,
she was like dragging it. It felt like a burden on her. She was not
yeah.
happy with the gown. I think they could have taken it off and done
Because if
something
you
else.
remember, in one of her interviews, she said that she has two gowns and she prefers the preliminary one,
Yes,
which was the two piece.
and the fact
Uh,
is, both gowns were not good. So
both were bad.
both
Sorry,
were bad.
I think we need
And
Saisha back. Saisha, we want you back.
yeah, we want Sasha
Time
did
it
a
was.
fantastic job with gowns. And do you remember? I think it was Priyanka Chopra's gown. She had something like this, and she just had a light tulle. Um, a stole that she had, right? That could have been done if you wanted to give it some kind of a dimension to it. You could just let it shoulder off for her and just.
Hemant Trivedi takes the cake of how to,
He is.
that was another league. I still remember Yukta Mukhi's gown,
Yes.
the silver blue,
Blue.
and the
Oh,
pashmina the shawl, the kind
shawl.
of it
Yes.
because she was so tall, and how he got a more heft in that entire body frame,
Yes.
whereas this was completely not flattering
No. It
to
was.
Divita, because she's got such
It's
an
round.
hourglass figure.
Yeah.
That could have clearly come out if they had given a tight corset, or even I feel one of the lehengas that she wore. If they would have just got that as an evening gown, because if you see the
Yeah.
trend, look at USA's evening gown. It is not conventional. It's a risk.
Yes.
If you are going for a back to back, you can't. You have to go big or go home. They
Hmm.
could have really taken all risks and done some, or go with a simple sari. Do something that's shocking.
Something exact, and one more thing I want to know is, why does everything have to sparkle? I mean, yes, a lot of people do the sparkle thing on stage. Why do
Same,
that?
silver, gold,
All the
bronze. They
times,
have
I am sick and tired of seeing so many embellishments. Like, it took so many hours to make. Okay, you know what? It doesn't need to take that many hours. Can you just choose the right material for the girl? I would have loved to see her in, I mean, organza or maybe silk or something, and it just, less is more. It doesn't have to
true.
sparkle. You can choose a right color to make it pop, and she can carry the gown. You don't need to make the gown. You know what happened is with India, the gown was carrying her. It's like she was drowned somewhere in it. You
Just
couldn't see
mopping
her.
the floor. Seriously, this one was literally, and if it would look good in an editorial cover, because
Yes,
if you're walking the stairs and you can
yes.
show, but I don't like the music. The music was so hip hop and it was so like light-hearted. You need some elegance. If
I think
normally I
I would
love
have
the
loved to
evening
see,
gown.
if you see couture shows, classic like Valentino, Givenchy, Chanel, I'm talking 50s, 60s, 70s, the classic, the womanly cut that you see. Why am I not seeing that on stage? It's the same silhouette, the same sparkly thing. All these gowns are like done to death. The only one that came with an unique one was I think Puerto Rico's pink gown. I liked it, but she did not choose that eventually. No, it was, sorry, Venezuela. Who was it? The pink gown? Dominican Republic. Sorry,
Ah,
she should just stuck with the same gown. She came back with what was so forgettable, so forgettable. The gown that she came back with, that pink one was lovely. It was a bright, hot pink thing, and it looked amazing on her with the bun in her hair. And then she came back and she chose another one. It was like so forgettable. Um,
yeah.
I think. styling needs to also upgrade itself in pageants now. I think no
I think
more.
this year they've clearly, I think this year has clearly shown that your normal gold, silvers are not going to work. You
No.
have to really stand out. If you really have to make the top five cut, and I think that's also because from top 15 to top five, it became very clear who were the front
Yes.
runners.
Yes.
I love Venezuela's gown. It was much better than her green gown that she wore at the preliminaries,
I
where
like the
those
green gown
pictures.
better than the zigzag thing that she wore. Actually, I like the green one because it was very classy, very 80s and like classic silhouettes. That's what I'm saying.
True.
That the material, the green thing, that silky. I love that. I think we need to see more elegant fashion on pageants. Now I think pageants, when you have a when you go online and look for gowns, like pageant gowns are just this particular look that everybody is doing everywhere. It's the same thing in different colors. That's it. And the same kind of, they want to do the lava walk with the hands on the hip thing. Sometimes you just want to look elegant, like a lady. You want to be more, delicate. And I think I want to see that demure and delicate. Yes, I want to see that womanly thing come out more than just like, oh, my hair and this, and I'm like,
But
oh, everyone's
but
on me.
why would they do that? Why would they do that? They're doing it for women. Everybody
I
is a woman.
think about it.
It's
Okay, think
for
about it.
women, by women, of women,
No, no, no.
from women, we man.
It's not all women. Okay, there are a lot of men that work behind the scenes that make this
Judges,
pageant fantastic. The makeup artists, the
correct.
hairstylists, everyone, all men. Okay, let's not forget that. If your makeup and your hair is looking good, trust me, a man's behind it. So I think we need to just stop with this whole woman thing. It's not
No,
gonna. I'm not
it's
buying that.
good. And to an extent, is very responsive to these suggestions. So for next year, she has said that there's going to be a male host. There are going to be male judges, and she said no Steve Harvey because we want people who rehearse.
Agree.
So,
But do you think she said that because of the backlash? Because she said that only women are going to be now run by a woman, a woman. This, I think maybe, and she did get a lot of backlash for that. The fact that there were no men present on stage or no way anywhere around it as well. So I think she just kind of, it was more like a damage control thing that she said it. I'm not
better,
buying it. I'm
good
not
for
buying
her,
it from her.
because otherwise, the men really felt alienated.
Yes.
That are we not really helping out? Or are we not part of this
Yes.
community? So
Yeah.
it's good that she's learning.
Yeah.
And she's open to suggestions. Thankfully, Harnaz did the crowning, because the earlier she wanted to crown
No, yeah,
the
yeah. I
winner.
think no, I don't. I think from the final walk of Harnaz, I think the one nice gesture that I saw from Anne was when she went like this, and and then Harnaz responded to that. That's when I actually saw it from a different camera angle. It was Anne kind of giving her that support, and I was like, oh, okay, thank God. I mean, yeah, and I was like, yes, she did it. So I did like that. That I think she did give her,
So is
her
Anne
final
a woman?
respect. Hmm? If
Long story short, is Anne a woman?
she's a trans woman, and that's what she is, and then she wants to represent or call herself a trans woman, and that's what she is, and she is, I think, needs to be realistic on the kind of audience that she's pulling in, because she is, I think, her aim is to bring the LGBTQ community and all of us together, unanimously, equally as well. So no one's one above the other. I think we're all exactly the same, and we have a right to choose to be who we want to be. But that does not qualify you as a woman. You're a woman and you're a trans woman. So yeah, I think she should not forget that. I think she should not forget that, because I think we have a lot of discussion on this, about how
So
people are viewing
15 to
women.
5.
15 to
15 to
5 was the
5.
worst possible decision that they could have done. It should have 16 to 5, right? It was the worst thing. It should have been 7. I think you should take top 7, have a question. There should be at least 3 question answer rounds. After 7, then choose it, then choose again, and then you come to the final. That makes more sense. We as an audience, we as people watching the show, the judges right there as well. Tables can turn. People can be something in the closure interviews, and then on stage there's something else. And I think that's exactly what happened at Puerto Rico. She must have been fantastic in the closed door, but when we saw her speak, disaster. Curacao was so what the hell was she talking about? I'm sorry, how did she make it? Curacao should not have even been there if that's how she was talking. And the top five question answer, I am surprised. So this is what
Do you
happened.
do you know Puerto Rico's evening gown? Was it the same
Same,
compared
same.
to preliminary?
She wore the collar thing, no?
But it was different. Both gowns are
How?
different. The final gown has a slit. Carefully see,
Huh,
whereas the preliminary gown did not have a slit. Second, her the style
huh,
on her cleavage is different. The color is the same, but
hmm.
it's more curvy in the final, showing her cleavage is more in the final versus. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put a picture for the
How?
audience to
So, but
see the
then again, my
difference.
point. Why?
Why? Why?
Why? Why
Why
you do
she
like
do like
that?
this?
The point is, if it's that forgettable to understand the difference of it, why bother?
True.
Do
But
something
we, but
really.
we, but we noticed it. The
Yeah, you
pageant
you
crews
know I
noticed it.
did. I was like, okay, I just noticed this part of her and I was like, okay, same thing she's worn again, same hair. It was the same hair. She didn't do anything different with it. So yeah, but other than that, what do you think about the final top three and the questions and the
I
answers
think from the
especially?
top three, from the top five, it was very clear who our top three
We
was.
knew
There
that. I
was
think it was well, I
it
think it
was
was,
very
yeah,
clear.
it was very clear and I
Uh,
think rightfully done.
Fourth was Puerto Rico. Fifth was Curacao. I think it was very clear how this would have been rated,
Yes.
at least from me.
Yeah.
Because even though Puerto Rico looked a bit scripted and very vociferous, when it comes to Curacao, she just lost her plot. She didn't know what she was talking after the 15th second.
Hmm.
So the top three, I was happy with it. I remember, I was buffering, so you were getting it 15 seconds in advance.
Yes.
So I muted you, and I was just looking at your expression, whether you're saying, and you're like, and I'm
And
looking, okay,
I was trying so hard not
and
to
oh,
show my disappointment. Because I really thought Venezuela was going to win, honestly. But then I was like oscillating. Venezuela, USA, Venezuela. But yeah.
no, we have to come to the final this thing now, right now. The final three question answers, which is how would you make sure that you showcase Miss Universe as an empowering and progressive organization.
Mm-hmm.
So when it came to Dominican Republic, she spoke about something similar to what Manpreet Brar had mentioned, which is we don't want to be wives, we don't want to be mothers, and we need to be together and blah 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 blah. Uh, though her answer had substance, I just felt that she was so serious. She was so monotone and serious that she was not relatable, and that is one thing that's very important for a Miss Universe, that you should feel that I she can be me, I can be like her. That relatability was not there. uh, though when it comes to her charm, the elegance, and the quintessential Miss Universe, I think she's drop dead gorgeous. I think she's the most beautiful between amongst the three. Venezuela, a simple face girl next door. I could see her, in a hypermarket if she's not put makeup. But with Dominican Republic, even though she might be, in jeans and t-shirt, she would be like,
She's
wow.
gorgeous. Oh
So,
God.
reminds me
She's
of Rekha
absolutely.
ji.
I loved I loved her actually. I was yeah, I kind of I remember when there are these videos that are floating around and you see her expression and everything and I think I was also kind of shocked why she didn't make it honestly. So a lot of upsets I think, and eventually it came to the point that we were like, oh okay. So for me it was more like, oh okay, so she won. Yeah, I guess out of the three she won. I did not like her answer about the final question about she's going to use fashion and whatever, and it just felt more like a business deal, to be honest. I didn't buy it. If I was a judge, I would have not probably given
I
a few
just
points on
feel,
that.
where USA won over Venezuela was purely on her answer, nothing else. And the reason is that USA is a very smart woman. If you look at her choice of words, she used exactly what the organization is looking for. One is she talked about force for good. she talked
Mm.
about transformational leader.
She
Same thing
just.
what Pia in Miss Universe 2015 when Philippines won, she said that I want to be confidently beautiful with a heart. And that time Miss Universe had changed that tagline to confidently beautiful. She used that to her advantage. So similarly, our Arbini, she used that to her advantage to make sure that she talks about the tagline, and she also mentioned how exactly she would do it. She spoke about how she is currently doing things. It's not that she will do something in the
Mm,
future.
mm, mm,
She's already doing something. She's
mm.
working with, these uh, uh, these workers who are downtrodden women who have
Sex
been rescued.
trafficking,
Yes,
yeah,
human
survivors,
trafficking
something. Yeah, yeah.
and marginalized women. She's working with them, how she's using and how she's making sure that she can be a voice through the change she's making and change her surroundings.
Mm,
Whereas when it came to Venezuela, she talked about how she would follow the legacy of the previous Miss Universes, because Miss Universe chooses those women who inspire by their words and transform through their actions. Now, here again, she is talking about being led rather than leading. She
mm,
wants
mm,
to
mm,
follow
mm,
the
mm,
footsteps.
mm,
So
mm,
this is not something of a transformational leader.
mm,
She's
mm,
not
mm,
breaking away from the paths.
mm,
And Anne has clearly mentioned that force for good is breaking away those snakes which are
mm,
existing with the status quo and using the waves to basically uproot them. So
mm,
she's not the person who would want to just follow the want her transformational winner to just follow the legacy of her past winners. So
mm,
that was one. The second was, she said her final closing line was nice, that she's a designer by profession, but she's a designer of dreams as a woman. But
mm,
that's again very vague.
mm,
It was a good punchy line at the end, but it wasn't enough to salvage her to really make her number one. So I think that's
probably,
where
yeah.
she so that's where I felt that she lost a bit of marks. Though Arbini Miss USA crossed the time limit by 7 seconds, so I don't know
Yeah.
whether they deducted marks for that. It's not very clear, or even after deducting, was she the highest?
Mhm.
So I For me, it was clear that a black is going to crown a black when Harnaz came in black. Second is that we've seen Suta crown Chelsea, which is the USA in 1995. Similarly, it was deja vu when India would again crown USA.
Mm.
So you could feel that this is where history is going to get created. And similarly, you had Olivia Colpo, who won 10 years back in the US, um, beating a Venezuelan. Venezuela in 2012 was the
Mm.
second runner up, and first runner up was Philippines. So this time, Arbini is half Filipino. So it was the
Oh,
case that she actually
interesting. Okay.
won. So
No,
some commonalities there. But before we move to the crowning, Harnas and the final walk and the final gown, your views.
I love the gown. I think it was a beautiful gesture for her to pay respects to Lara Datta and Shushmita Sen. I think it was, I loved the gown. It was fantastic. It made it look beautiful. It was heartbreaking. She was crying for other reasons. I think it was not because she was giving up the crown. It was more like, oh, look, a lot of things have happened to her. She was extremely emotional, heartbroken. I could see it in her eyes. And it was not a very happy goodbye like we usually see with all the queens when they're overwhelmed with emotions and they're happy that okay, well, they achieved so much, and new chapter of their life is starting, and and this has given them a lot of um like a springboard to their dreams. This wasn't like a springboard for her dreams. It was more like, I don't know what's going to happen to her after this. That's what it felt like. So I did, and when she tripped, it was like, my God. I mean, I'm poor thing. I did not want her to trip at that final thing, and I don't know. It was, and then the jokes that are going around, ridiculous again. started already. Somebody, messaged, I think, commented on it that she could have broken the stage if she tripped and fell. I'm like, oh my God, guys, come on, seriously. I mean, take a
And
look
even
at it.
now she can eat peacefully.
Yeah, now she can eat peace. I mean, look at herself in the mirror first, really. And I'm not saying physically. Look at your heart, see your consciousness. And I don't think you guys are, worth commenting on anybody. I mean, if you're that clean in your hearts or your minds, you would not ever do it as well. Solely because of your own insecurities and your issues and your inadequacies, do you feel better bludgeoning somebody else and bringing them down? So it's really pathetic seeing this, and it's still going on. And well, all I can say is we really feel sad for people like you. And I just hope it stops, and I hope people just start using their minds properly now and try and awaken their consciousness and start seeing reality. All right, don't be in this negative toxic phase that you are going through. It's not serving any purpose to you or anybody around you. Okay, we only feel sorry for people like you. So yeah, I mean, I think pageantry, there are a lot of things that are going on. One more is what's her name, Paraguay got married to Mark Antony. Yep.
Yes.
People are now bludgeoning her for he's 60 and she's 23. Well, she's the same one who also spread the rumor that Hernaz was pregnant. So, well, the point is that you can find 100 things to
And
speak about
today is
people.
Chesley's first death anniversary as well.
Who's?
Chesley Christ, Miss
Oh my
USA.
God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. Poor thing. It was horrible. I think a lot of things have happened, like see, she was depressed. We don't know what was going behind her life, what was really bothering her. She has been going through depression. We don't know how many of you trolls have probably aggravated it the last minute. We don't know, but depression can happen in the slightest thing for everybody. Depression is a very real thing. Everybody on this planet goes through. There's not even one person. I have done a survey on mental health issues, and I've written a huge article on it. And trust me, it took me a month to write it. And it was horrible when I was hearing about the statistics of mental health issues around the world. Today, everybody goes through depression. Whoever you are, even the Pope probably is depressed because if he's seeing with all the negativity going around the world. Okay, so we have to be there for each other. We have to be a support for each other. There is no ifs and buts, and there's no way of separating or segregating yourself from anybody. We're all same, and we're all going through struggles of life just the way everybody else is. No matter how high you are up in life or low in life, it's the same. The struggle is real. So, don't kind of fuel anyone's sadness. Just stop fueling sadness in people. You don't know how it affects. One thing you might comment, it might really destroy somebody else. Don't do that. I think we need to start changing ourselves. And if you are, especially in beauty pageants, because you are physically looking at people and they're trying to win your approval or your love or your acceptance by the way they physically look, and they work so hard at it. And it's a struggle. Some of them are starving. They can't even eat what they want to do because they are looking a certain way because everybody assumes this is how you're supposed to look like to win a pageant, right? So you had Miss Thailand, who was a curvy woman. She was a strong contender to win it the last time. You do not. Why should we have any issues about someone being slim or fat, whether she gained weight or not gained weight? It is. I think beauty pageants has to redefine themselves. I think there has to be a lot of, they were talking about criteria of what criteria you would like to change. And Arboni said at the age criteria, I would like to see that change in beauty pageants, right? I would also like to see the weight category changing a bit. I would also like to see how for certain body type, whether you like, I don't know, but tattoos are allowed and everything, but they do have issues about certain body modification things as well. I think you need more real women. If they're getting married women, they're getting all these sort of women. I think keep it as real as it can be. Have a weight cutoff. I think that would make more sense. I would like to see that more. Okay, fine. If somebody starts off at, I don't know, 60 kg, she becomes 70. She's still she's still loved and accepted, and no one's gonna.
Correct, but there's from Miss Universe, there is no criteria on weight. Currently there's not.
Wasn't it when
It's more,
Trump was there? Wasn't it when Trump?
It was even then it was not there, but it was that if you cannot fulfill your duties, we will fire you, and so that's where the caveat is that what is the duty? If the duty is to become a model, being the brand of a lingerie company or cosmetics where you are not able to get those contracts because of your weight
Hmm.
issue,
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
you know. Okay, so my view on the whole Harnaz thing, I have been taking down notes. The
Mm-hmm.
first thing that I'd like to talk about is Harnaz is a pure soul. Okay,
Yeah.
God bless her. She has worn the crown with grace, with pride, and she has respected the crown. I have never seen anyone talking how she has retaliated in any
Mm.
which way, which
Mm.
was disrespectful, which was demeaning,
Yes.
or uh, which showed that she has really been affected by it. There was only once when she spoke about that she has celiac disease. After that, she chose not to
Not to
keep
talk about.
bragging and beating about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
On her final walk, I do feel that the stage was cramped. She did
Mm.
not get enough time and limelight and spotlight to clearly show how magnificent the gown was.
Yeah.
You know, we are seeing other camera footages which were the fan cams showing the back and the trail, the bow,
Yes.
but it
Yes.
would have been such a great entry. You know, even her entry was, she was not the spotlight. It was more the contestants left, right, and she's just a side view of her
Mm.
moving down the stairs. Whereas if you look at other beauty queens, it's them who get the spotlight. They are right in between. They are
Mm.
this is her final walk. Give her that respect, you know. And I do feel that she was overwhelmed
Yeah.
because I just felt that even after doing all of that, she felt that it was not enough. You know, she's done so much when it comes to her, advocacies, so much in terms of just absorbing negativity. But still, till the last minute, just half an hour before the pageant, she actually went online and she apologized to Miss Kyrgyzstan,
Yeah.
tagged her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even the last minutes, she was like, "Oh God, like why?" As in, was it so bad to dream to become a Miss Universe? You
She
know,
was. Yeah.
and it
Exactly.
was like
Yeah.
the Murphy laws. Everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Went wrong.
Even she, tripped, and even then you could see her last way in which she's just doing this. It's more like she's like a wounded soldier, not like a
Yeah.
prize.
Yeah. That's
You know,
exactly. Oof.
so it was like I was missing a bit of assurance from her side of what she has done. It
Hmm.
was a bit of, I need to still prove myself. I will keep proving myself. You know, if being Miss Universe was not enough, I don't know what will be enough. You
True.
know,
True. True.
uh,
Exactly. And
it's like never enough, never enough. I
never,
think both these
never,
women,
never.
never, never, never. I also felt that the organization in the last 3 months did not support her enough,
No, they
especially with
didn't.
Anne.
Not at all.
You know,
Not at all.
till the time Paula Sugar was there, you have the coordinator, forgetting her name, Esther, who's always with her. They've been her backbone, but with uh, you know Anne coming in, even the doubts on whether she will crown her or not, like you're any which ways in a vulnerable position. You when you start discussing whether her expected rights of just crowning the winners are coming in question and public is being asked, like
Hmm.
it just makes you, it breaks you down further.
Hmm.
I do feel her speech was very short. She could have elaborated more. I wish she would have said Chak De, because she keeps on talking about Chak De, and I wanted her to say Shukriya instead of Namaste Universe.
Hmm.
That would have been a better ending. Um, Also, I believe that you rightly pointed out all the other previous Miss Universes have already got some next steps finalized.
Hmm.
They know what they have to do in the future. They have backed contracts.
Yeah.
Even someone like who reigned for just 8 months, Miss Venezuela, Andrea Meza, she got a hosting opportunity with Telemundo. who was the sponsor of Miss Universe's channel
Mm,
in
mm,
2020,
mm.
onwards. So all of that, she's right now, even after achieving a pinnacle where people would say now you're sorted in life,
Yeah.
it's still, she's still walking through eggshells, and I'm glad that she's taking off time. She needs a break before she even thinks of anything, and I'm sure she will come out victorious. And she should take her own time.
Yes. I
There's
think
no
she
hard
needs to.
fast rule. Whether she wants to talk about her story, because we all as pageant fans would love to know what was going on in her mind, in her heart. What's the real story? How did she tackle every day? How did she manage to come up and be bold and be gutsy? It takes a lot of guts to parade around with, being non conforming to beauty standards and still putting up smile on your face. So I there's so much more to learn from her.
She
And
has a story to tell. She has a very beautiful story to tell. And to be honest, we see a lot of, you know, books coming out of people who have gone through things like this. I would want to write a book or maybe make a movie on it or something that expresses the turmoil behind being a
because it's
beauty.
a very unique story,
It's a very
it's
unique story,
it's
and I would want it to see in a movie. And I think I want it to be very hard hitting. And I think she has a lot of in very very
people
important
to.
stuff that nobody knows about, that's hidden. And you're all smiling and nobody knows about the corruption or the bad stuff that happens behind scene. I think she has experienced all of it. I think she's got a very important story to tell, and I hope she does say it
I
sometime in
think
the future.
this guy, what is his name? Bhardwaj, who made fashion and he made
Yeah, so
uh,
exactly. So
bar.
exactly. I
I think
would
we need
love
one
him
story
to
on
get
this
behind it.
pageantry.
Yes, and beauty pageants, what the reality behind it. I think it would be unbelievable. So, well, having said that, wow, Guru, this has been interesting and quite heavy as well. Would you like to round it off?
Yes, I do feel this was a very unique pageant, as I mentioned in my previous life, where it was a transition between the old era and the new era, a bit of hodgepodge. Very personally invested in it because Harnaz was there.
Hmm.
There was a back-to-back view, and this was the first time we created our channel.
Yeah.
So it will always remain special. Uh,
Hmm.
and I do wish that the lessons that have been learned are not forgotten, that we continue to support our queens and look beyond pageants as just a way to, you know, define what we feel is right and what we feel is wrong, but more to do with how people are able to do what they want to do.
Hmm.
If women want to hold a cape and do swimsuit, that's their choice. Let
Yep.
them.
Yep.
Who are you to define that
Yep.
is objectifying women? Nobody's forcing anyone.
Yep.
If a married woman with kids wants to participate, let them.
I
The
guess we need
freedom of
that.
choice is so important in life. The freedom of choice for us to even do this, YouTube channel, we think it's a given, but there are people who are not given that basic right to choose for themselves. And that's very disappointing. And I'm so glad and I'm so grateful to God Almighty that we have the power to choose what we want to do with our lives,
Yep.
what we define. Yes, we will make mistakes, but we own our life. You know
Yeah, we do.
that when she was coming down, Jeannie Mai lent her hand, and she should have just held it for 1 second and then moved on. But she kept on holding it like together with her. It just felt that you know she is the woman that we knew doesn't need anyone's support,
Yeah.
and she was literally
Mm.
limping. It was not, that was one part that I just felt that she could have taken a little more control of herself on that. And the last part is, I'm though I love the gown, but I have a view. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
allow me to
Come
give this
on.
view. The view here is that she is Miss Universe,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
This is her moment.
Mm-hmm.
She does not need to tribute this to other Miss Universes. This is her moment. She is also at par with them. Why do we have to have three women in her farewell walk? You know,
Okay.
from that point of view,
Hmm.
she's enough in her own skin. She doesn't. The whole farewell is now about Sushmita and Lara and the dress, not about Harnaz.
Okay, to that, I just want to say one thing. Do you think it was a response to the fact that everybody hated India winning and them to remind that don't forget these two amazing women also were from India and India has won for the third time? So
I
I
know.
think it was
Yes,
maybe
I
that.
know, but then it is her moment. She's enough as a Miss Universe. So
Mhm.
when I went through Saisha's Insta stories, she was talking about the three gems of the universe. This is the name of the gown,
Hmm,
right?
hmm,
Now, in that, it's like both of them are there, and then she's also there, right?
hmm, hmm,
This is purely her final walk as Miss Universe 2021.
hmm.
So, in that, giving tribute to previous Miss Universes, that also on a bow which is behind, as if they are responsible for her. I don't think they were pure mentors. She's never met Sushmita Sen. If there was little more to her own personal, I would love if she had her mom's picture, for example, because she always talks
Yeah,
of her mom, that she's
yeah.
been the inspiration, she's broken stereotypes and stigmas. I just felt that we had to have two more, we had to have a bigger concept for
Hmm,
her to
hmm,
sell this
hmm,
final walk.
hmm, hmm,
And
hmm.
because probably, you know, she could, any other gown, people would talk about the gown itself, not
Yes.
about the meaning.
Hmm,
And because of this, the focus is not on, she's looking weighty or she's not looking as a queen, but the whole focus has become on the essence or the meaning of the gown. So as a gown, I am completely sold on it, but
hmm.
as a final walk gown, I think that has taken more discussion than Harnaz herself.
I think I understand what you're saying. I guess it feels like she was not enough and she had to showcase these two women as well, because I think I do feel she's
I
feeling
know
her
it's a
reign was
tribute,
not significant enough. Yeah. She
it's an
herself
amazing
is not
tribute.
happy with her reign. She herself is feeling that it wasn't significant enough and she had to just show that, okay, these women were also there. I think then it kind of gave her that support that she was l- clearly not having from the
That
organization
they
as
were
well.
behind her. Yeah.
Yeah, no one was really supporting her apart from whoever were there, and I think it's sad
I
that she
don't know.
had to
In her
do
last, in
that.
I need to replay the speech again. Has she thanked her fans? Because I think that is very very important. And if she has not, I've seen her thank her parents, the organization, God. I need to see whether it's the fans
I
that she
I
had,
I
because
don't remember. I think
that is.
honestly, Guru, I need to rewatch her work again because at that moment when she came out, I was so overwhelmed. I was like trying not to cry. I don't remember what she actually said. So I think I've also kind of missed that part out. I do remember she saying Kun. She thanked Kun in that turn. I remember. But the organization and I don't know. I'm sure she would have said fans. I think that's the one thing they all say.
You better.
They have to say it regardless. You're there because of the fans as well. But I think what I've also noticed is, Guru, a lot of people who talk about pageants who have channels like us on YouTube as well have been spreading a lot of hate to Harnaz as well. So it's not just the fans that are just commenting on it. They're people who have a voice, who are being heard, speaking ill about her as well. So it has come from all angles. And I think you're right in many ways. It should have just all worked out together.
I'm actually. Let me just go through it quickly.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
really need that answer.
I'm sure she would have said it. I'm sure she would have said it.
I really hope. I was 17 when I first stepped onto a stage, and since that day, becoming Miss Universe was my goal. Like being given the megaphone on a worldwide stage to present the topic of menstrual equity before world leaders, asking them to keep this conversation ongoing. Thank you, Amy, Paula, Quinn, and Esther, entire Miss Universe organization for loving me immensely and helping me to make my voice heard. To my mom, dad, family, friends, and everyone who has inspired me on this quest, you are forever in my heart. To my
Everyone who has inspired me in this quest.
Okay, and then how does she sign off?
So she talks about mom, dad.
I heard that. I heard all of it. But after that,
Family, friends, and everyone who has inspired me.
you are forever in my heart.
You are forever
To
in
my
my heart.
beloved country of India, I promise to keep making you proud.
Okay, she
The
has.
next Miss Universe.
She has. Thankfully. But it's not about the fans, but everyone who has helped me in my quest. I'm
you know,
you're forever in my
I
heart.
think Philippines gave her a lot of love. Philippines gave her a lot of
She
love,
was
and
very
I
happy
love you
when she
guys for
went
that.
there.
Huh?
When she went to Philippines, I think
Yes.
she was dressed so appropriately.
Yes,
She was
they
looking nice.
styled her beautifully, and she had already started being curvy at that time, I remember. And they styled her beautifully. And she was happy. Did you notice she was more happy in Philippines? And I love you guys for the amount of love you gave her. It was and amazing to see that they just wholeheartedly the smallest guy probably holding his camera near the motorcade, he was jumping and smiling, and the love was so pure from you guys.
Parent.
I just want to thank you, Philippines, for all the love that you give Harnaz, and I was so overwhelmed by it because I felt many of our own dissed her as well. So yeah, I think a lot of love and a lot of respect to Philippines. You guys are definitely pageant powerhouses for a very, very valid reason.
And I'm
So
sure they'll come back. I think their lessons to be learned. Even the organization says that they have to recalibrate their strategy.
a lot.
I do feel just because of one mishap,
Yeah.
they'll not give up so soon. Let's hope El Salvador in December will have a new Miss Universe. So it's a short reign, 11 months for Anne. Sorry, not for Anne. For Arbini.
For Anne to also back
Gabriel
up
from
and
Miss.
change up a lot of things. Yes, it's a lot of pressure on Anne as well. Let's see, this is going to be all.
What pressure?
There's going to be a lot of pressure for Anne to live up to.
That reminds
everything.
me, that reminds me that we have to, sign off, because I want one dedicated session for all the gossips that we've been hiding and keeping from, and I'd like to also talk about as far as going back to the thali and
oh my God,
the pressures.
Rashmita, what was her name?
Harimurti.
I have a particular meme for that, and I'm gonna send. He's gonna play it.
That will be fun.
I'm gonna enact the whole national costume of Miss India, and Guru's gonna show it to you. But yeah, okay, so this is gonna be amazing, guys. We're gonna bring on all the funny moments, the gossips, the crazy things, the ridiculous things, and we're gonna make a special episode.
So the next episode is going to be all about fun. No serious talk. It's all lighthearted of what you'll wait for it, and you'll remember the next episode.
You'll know exactly how crazy and nuts we both can be together. You're gonna see it in the next episode for sure. It's gonna be a real entertainment.
So I need to go and have my food not once but twice, and I'm sure you have important tasks to do as well.
I do. It's really late, and I have not eaten my dinner yet, so I'm gonna go have my dinner as well. And and then got loads to discuss in our next episode. So just want to say thank you so much, guys, for being with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and hit the bell button if you want to be notified on our upcoming videos. And stay safe, be happy, and gosh, live and let live, sweethearts. That's it. Take care, sweetie. From Guru and I.
Shukriya.
Shukriya. Bye.